Hello everyone, welcome to Property Zone Live. I'm Shawnee here, and our topic for today will be about MRT Line Tree, decoding MRT Line Tree, and actually what we need to know about MRT Line Tree, maybe just as a straight person, but more importantly, as a real estate investor. Okay, a couple months ago, our transport minister had just mentioned that MRT Line Tree will be revived from the second half of the year. So let's maybe take a look at the progress as well. Okay, so without further ado, I'm just going to pull out some slide they have done, a simple slide, but I give you a different dimension, how we can actually take back some information about MRT line tree from the slide. Okay, so I'm just going to pull out my slide. Okay, let me a second. All right. Yep, this is it. So MRT line tree is a no stranger to everyone. Okay, we already have MRT line number 1 already in full operation. MRT line 2, also we call the Putrajaya line, should be in operation very soon. Now the next one will be the MRT line, and they will be calling a circle line. Now some of the crucial and essential information about the MRT 3, which is also called a circle line, will be extracted from their website, and I will present to you now. The total length of the MRT line tree is about 51 kilometers. All right, about 40 kilometers majority way is actually elevated. As you will see, when you drive along the highway, it's above you. And there will be 10.7 kilometers of the MRT line will be underground, which is beyond, underneath our human eyes. Of course, station, there will be a total of 31 stations to serve the needs of the population in different area. 24 will be in elevated section, and 7 stations will be underground. Okay, 15 sites, 11,000 beds as well. Actually, when we talk about MRT 3, line 3, we call the circle line, the first impression people will have is actually connecting among line 1 and line number 2 for MRT only. The actual fact is not. It serves more purpose beyond just connecting the station within MRT. You can see there are 2 stations connecting with MRT Kajang line, 2 stations with Putrajaya. And on top of that, they have connecting with LRT Kelana Jaya line. You have 2 stations. You have 3 stations with LRT Ampang line. One with monorail, one is KTM, one is city bus. So in other words, the circle line for MRT line 3 are not just connecting the dot, the missing puzzle among the MRT line 1 and line 2, but also integrating different LRT stations. That's why some people actually call it there's actually filling the last piece of the puzzle in KL or Klang Valley public transportation. Now, when people are excited when it can be open, now the operation there will be break into 2 parts. The first one is the phase number 1, which is in 2028, subject to land acquisition process, because it will involve acquisition of a different land. Of course, the due date and the progress of it can be delayed if there's any hiccup coming up. But at the moment, initial for phase 1 is 2028, and phase number 2 is 2 years later, 2030. All right. Now, this is what we will see if you actually go to the MRT station, okay, their website. So over here, they will give you a different line using, for example, the KTM line stretching from Batu K, Tanjung, and LT line from Sri Petaling line, Kelana Jaya, ERL, and all the way inclusive of the MRT Putrajaya line. Of course, a very obvious one will be the black color, the circle line that's traveling here. I know the word is too small for us to see, but don't worry, I will actually come to the next page, and I will show it in a bigger scale. Now this is the one. Okay, so if you are not too familiar or still a bit confused about where are the circle lines passing by, I think at the north point, at the north of the circle line, what you'll be seeing, you just take Setapak as a north point, as a reference. Okay, Danau Gota, Setapak, this along the line will be the north side. What happened to the east side of it? Then you'll be looking at the Cheras, for example, Taman Cheras, Taman Mida, And this is where the MRT station line integrated. And of course, at the southern part, you'll be passing by Jalan Klang Lama, Bangsa South area, which is Kampung Kerinci side, and also to the west of it, the west side of it. Northwest of it will be passing by Mon Kiara, Jalan Tuta, KL Metropolis area. And you see the line here, not the solid line, breaking line here. What you'll be looking at is actually referred as a underground MRT line tree. So in overall, what you're looking at, they are actually integrating with different stations, with LRT, monorail, KTM, not just the MRT line 1 and line 2. So I think that actually spells the significance of this integration. Now next, why investor care so much about MRT line 3? Some of you actually are even looking at, some of them put it as a prerequisite to buy a property that's next to MRT station. Are property close to MRT always appreciate faster than the one that is not close to MRT? Not necessarily. I think the very important thing is you need to look at the profile of the population. I think the famous example in Malaysia or in Klang Valley will be the Taman Tun Dr. Ismail area. While people are welcoming MRT line to be in their neighborhood, okay, Taman Tun Dr. Ismail actually put up her banners and have this silent protest to say they don't want MRT station there. To them, it's actually more cons than pro to have an MRT station in their neighborhood. Reason being is, first, of course, people are there have a higher earning capacity. Most of the households have more than one car, so they can drive to any place necessary, and they don't want strangers to come to their neighborhood and so-called jeopardize their exclusiveness, jeopardize the security to have stranger coming in their Taman. So that's one thing. Second thing, are the premiums on the property near to MRT station justifiable? I think it depends. In my opinion, not all MRT stations carry different rates. In fact, there's one statistics from Hong Kong and also from Taiwan when they actually started the MRT station that did a study as this: what are the weightage carried by the MRT station? In fact, the MRT station in general that is stationed further away from the town center appreciate faster. There has actually more weightage on the station that's further away, especially the first and second station in the line. For example, MRT line number 1, you have Rawang and KTM on the extreme side. So the MRT station will have more positive weighting on these two places because it will actually shorten their time traveling to KL, for example, without stucking in the jam. If you are having a property nearer to the station and the station are actually quite close to city center, if you have to drive up and go to the MRT station to park just to go 3 or 4 stations to reach your destination, I think that will make economical sense. You might as well just drive from your house to KLCC or KL area to work directly. That's one thing. And then second thing is the MRT station carries thermal. It also, you have to be careful. Distance is one thing. For example, 300 meters may sound like a very short walking, but if the 300 meters, that means you have to cross a very heavy traffic highway, risking your life to cross the road in order to get to the MRT station. Maybe 300 meters is not that near, okay? And also the road condition, right? 300 meters, you have to walk by a small, quiet alley that you have to worry for your safety and all. So I think distance is one thing. If you're scouting for a property near MRT station, the best thing is you yourself have an experience to walk from the project site to the MRT station. Then you can actually feel how will be the walking journey experience from the place that you want to the MRT station. So due diligence is always necessary, not just looking at the distance, all right? Now, overall, whether the MRT carries a certain weight on property investment? Yes. And in fact, this has been one of the study done by a thesis in regarding Bangkok. Because when we talk about Bangkok, the first thing that comes was food, also about the jam. The traffic jam actually push people to take more public transport than stuck in the jam for hours. In fact, one of the study you can done back in 2008, some of the things I've highlighted, okay, the MRT subway station and the BTS have helped ease the traffic problems in Bangkok. Very important. And it also increased the real estate property values, especially condominiums near the mass transit route. Significantly, the word is significantly, because customer are willing to pay more for the convenience. Stucking in the jam is no joke. All right, I share my personal experience. 14 kilometers will take me 1 hours and 45 minutes. Okay, and when you're stuck in the jams, your mood, your time, your effort, everything is go haywire. Okay, this is actually one of the important things. Now, second thing, the benefits of MRT Putrajaya. This is actually to echo the thesis that they just make the significance of public transportation. Looking at the cities, they are packed with jam. Bangkok is one thing, Jakarta is one thing. I think KL, we are very close to it. All right, and MRT Line Tree. Okay, if you are not just a property real estate investor, all right, MRT Line Tree basically has a multiplier impact on the economy as well. Okay, what it means is that if you look at the multiplier effects are from construction activities among the largest for any economy. And so far as MRT Line Tree is concerned, the expected multiplying effect is 3.5. Now, what it means in short, from economic basis, the cost of the MRT Line Tree is looking at 31 billion. Okay, I'm just going to share two things, essential point about this slide is, one, the cost of the MRT Line Tree is going to be in the region of 31 billion. All right. So if you have the economic impact, multiplying impact of 3.5, then you're looking at close to about 100 billion economic impacts in terms of capital, in terms of expenditure, economic expenditure to be felt among the whole economy. Because when one person willing to spend, okay, they will actually start hiring and they will buy stuff, they will engage more people. When people more job, they have more job, they actually will go out and spend. Okay, this is basically a positive multiplying effect. Whatever you have spent in 31 billion, you will actually have close to 100 billions of impact in the whole economy. So basically, this is one thing to take home of. And the second thing, from the announcement of reviving the project, also we know that the MIDF research estimated the CMC 303 is worth 14.25. Basically, they are actually getting their funding in, okay, by three bigger portion of this. You know, you have CMC 301, 302, and 303, okay, and total of this is worth about 30 billion already, okay. So you know that they are on the right track in reviving the MRT Line Tree. Okay. How about other aspect from other people when they look at the MRT Line Tree station? They say the MRT line, it should be MRT Line Tree, do not pass by rich man area. They didn't pass by affluent neighborhood like Bangsa or Taman Sarahai or Taman Tun. Okay, some critics actually downplay the significance of the MRT Line Tree. Okay, let me just share with you my experience. I was in the state, US, California, in Silicon Valley back in the year of 2000. During that time, okay, the wages for the McDonald's staff, okay, was 50%, even to 70% higher in Silicon Valley compared to the other states. Why? Workers of McDonald's works in Silicon Valley gets 50 to 70% higher pay than most staff in the rest of the country, because the living expenses in Silicon Valley is very high. So while we are actually look at the wages from an economy in the fairness point of view, we have to understand there are people who are not earning as much as the white collar people in the area. But when they stay in Silicon Valley, they are expected to live on the expenses at the Silicon Valley, not the rest of the state. So the things I want to highlight to you in this, when you actually talk about mixed development, for example, KL Metropolis example, although it's in an affluent enclave, Mon Kiara and next to it, Hatamas and all, but there are people who be coming to the retail to work as a cashier, bookkeeper, admin staff, telemarketer in the office, cleaner in the office. These people may not afford to actually own a car and park in the KL metropolis. They will need a public transportation, effective, efficient public transportation to bring them from their house and come to KL metropolis to work, for example. Only with the support of a different segment of the market, then we can have a healthy ecosystem to make KL metropolis or other mixed development to strive. Okay, we cannot just ignore a different segment in the economy for an ecosystem to stay healthy and thriving. Okay. Excuse me. And as you know, our transport minister just mentioned that Malaysia has almost 33 million registered cars, equivalent to our population. It will divide by the number of cars, right? When they say car, it basically refer to vehicles. It will include bus, it will include lorries and so on and so forth, not just passenger car. All right. Having a highest, okay, it's with the word highest vehicle ownership per capita in Asia. All right. The ownership of the car is one thing, but utilizing rate is another. What it means that some family could be owning 6, 7 cars in the house, especially the affluent area. But if just 2 persons is having 7 cars, they can't be driving 7 cars out at the same time. So one expert mentioned that okay, ownership is one thing, utilization rate is another. In other words, is even you cannot change much about people. If they like the car, they are a car person, they want to buy more car. You can't stop them. They can afford it. There's a supply. Excuse me. But what we can do is actually discouraging them from driving a car. Maybe they can charge a peak hour fees. But at the same time, they can do a positive encouraging people taking a public transportation in an efficient and timely manner. Because you just don't want people, instead of driving a car for 40 minutes, they have to, if they decide to take a public transportation, they have to go use public transportation number one. They have to use LRT, monorail, and MRT at the end. They have to rely on feeder bus, and the whole total journey will be taking 2.5 hours instead of 40 minutes. So these are the things perhaps is in the power of the government. And one thing maybe some of you may realize, the traffic jam is worse than pre-COVID by 50-70% if you're looking for the traveling time. Nobody can explain the experience, and none of us can foretell this is a short term or it's going to be a long term phenomenon. The thing is, the traffic will only be worse if the population keep on increasing. Okay? And if you are the person who take Grab car regularly, since 2 months ago, 1st of April, when everything is open up, we are facing, first of all, reduce of Grab driver. It takes longer time for you to find a Grab driver. Second time, the fees is a lot more expensive. Some people complain that the Grab fee increased by 200 to 400%. Why? Because some of the driver, the Grab driver or the e-hailing driver, they just refuse to take in customer during peak time. They will be stuck on the jam, and the fees they are getting is not enough to compensate their gas price, their gas cost, and also their time. Okay, there's actually one recent article that the Grab actually charged for 68 ringgits for 24 km. Now, all these things, traffic jam, a higher waiting time for the Grab to come, higher cost if you decide to take a Grab or taxi. will actually having a positive or contributing impacts on people to take public transportation. So MRT Line Tree will come in handy if the next condition is to be met. Okay, the ultimate success on the public transportation, okay, lies on the last mile. People always say the last straw on the camel's back. Okay, the last the last straw. Okay, there's a typo here. The last straw on the camel's back, but a straw is so insignificant. The little bit of it, it will carry such a tremendous impact. So what we want to actually emphasize is actually the significance of the little bit. The little bit of things that carry such a tremendous impact will be on the transportation, will be the last mile. The last mile can be in two ways. First, if I'm at my home, I want to reach a destination A to meet my clients, or have a meeting, or to even to reach my office. First question is, how do I go to MRT or public transportation from my house? If I were to take feeder bus, does it come in here? Or do I have to take another transportation to go to feeder bus transportation? Is the feeder bus timetable reliable? All right. Once I reach the station, how soon they would bring me to reach the MRT or LRT station or whatsoever? The second question people will ask oftenly, once I get out from the MRT or LRT or other public transportation station, how do I get to the final destination? Is there another efficient feeder bus to bring me to meet my clients, to my office, and etc.? So this will be the last little bit of thing, but that carry a significant weightage. Okay, as you know, Malaysian weather, you all live in Malaysia. Our weather is either extremely hot or extremely wet, and our Malaysian weather is not designed for walk in the park. So this is some of the feedback I've gathered through the articles, to the things that I mentioned by the expert. This is not just my opinion, but it's something I've gathered that say that in order to make the whole public transportation, the MRT Circle Line Tree is one major thing. So much money I have to spend on, but also to look at the little things, how we go to the station, or once we get out of the station, how do we get to our destination, would be one of the most crucial part as well. Okay, so with this, I actually conclude the sharing of today in regards to MRT station line 3, the Circle Line. All right, and at this, I wish you a good Thursday evening. See you next time. Sean Lee here, Properties Online. Thank you very much.